Welcome back to Empowered. I'm Elizabeth Namofsky. Today we're focusing on championing gender justice with legal perspectives. So let's go back to collaboration with community organizations. Professionals, media seems to be an essential part of your approach. Media such as TikTok or social media. Could you elaborate on the importance of this collaborative approach and how it enhances your work?
Yeah, absolutely. I can give you an example without giving you too much detail, just because I need to protect the confidentiality of my clients. But yeah, so I had a client who was in a really vulnerable and immediate situation. She was going to be evicted. And it was a human rights issue. We're already in the process of the human rights case. But as I said to you earlier, the delay, it wasn't doing anything. And so I did some things within the Human Rights Tribunal where you can request an expedited hearing, where you can request an interim remedy for them to approach things immediately. I knew that wasn't going to work because it would be delayed. But in doing that, we engaged the media as well. We got CBC, and CBC wrote an article about my client and her dire situation. And with all of that, with doing this litigation, but then also involving the media, we actually made change, and the eviction was completely canceled and a new lease was written. And it was just such a huge success. And we did it all outside of the courtroom. So I think all of that actually involved professors from universities who wrote me affidavits attesting to the discrimination that she was experiencing and why it was a homelessness issue. So I involved tons of people, the media, the community, the professionals. So I think that's really important. You can't do that with every case. I wish you could, but we just don't have the time. Lawyers are very, very busy, but we do what we can, and it can be really effective in the right moments.
It is effective because it actually gives you another voice, right? And it helps amplify your voice as well. So let's talk about what are some of the biggest challenges that you face as a feminist human rights lawyer, and how do you overcome them?
We touched on this briefly before, but how I navigate it personally, it's hard. But I have a background in counseling and trauma, and so I think early on in my young 20s, when I was starting in this career, I did get burnt out. I experienced what we call vicarious trauma, where you basically experience the trauma of your clients. And it was really difficult, but I, through that, found my ways of coping, but also through creating boundaries, ensuring that I was still taking care of myself, that I didn't compare myself to everybody else. I have a lot of compassion and empathy for everybody that I work with, but I also have to be able to distance myself a little bit and be able to enjoy my own life when I'm not working, which on occasion is, very rare that I'm not working, but I do my best.
But you know what? It's really important. You said two things. One is that you created boundaries, and the other one was that, you didn't compare yourself to others. And that's really important because I think as women, we're super, super hard on ourselves, and we do compare ourselves to others. And sometimes, there are no boundaries. So we just go because we think it's the right thing to do. And I think this is a really important thing that you just brought up, because we all need to look at ourselves, and I can't compare myself to you, and you can't compare yourself to me. And boundaries are super, super important.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think too, when, doing this work as a woman is also hard. It's a traditionally male, white dominated profession. And even still, I think I get some clients who expect, unfortunately, I even had a client who called and said, well, isn't there a man that can help me? So unfortunately, it's still rampant. It's still there, but I just have to believe that I offer something unique that other people can't, whatever their gender.
So what do you do? I'm just going to digress here. What do you do when somebody like that says to you, well, isn't there a man? Because I don't want to deal with a woman.
That's a good question. In that case, my instant reaction was go away. I don't want to help you, and I don't want to refer you to anybody. But I recognize that everybody needs help. So, in the end, I said, well, we're all able to provide you with service. I work in a multidisciplinary team where even if I'm unavailable, somebody else might take it. And likewise, even if I referred him to a man, I might end up with the case. So I'm not sure how effective that is for him. I don't like to support it, though. I don't like to support people that have those kind of requests.
But you know what? You are extremely empathetic. You're extremely kind. And so, your heart goes in another way, and you treated it really well. As you said, you wanted him to go away, but you wanted him to be helped as well. So we're going to continue on our conversation in a few minutes.